Hi, Fay Tatahi, and I've got an exhibition at Thames Gallery on the 2nd of August titled I Touched a Tree, and just sharing with you, I wasn't always the artist that I am right now at this moment. I actually didn't have that much confidence in my work, and I often felt like I couldn't say what I wanted to say. It might offend somebody, or I might get it wrong, or they might think it's silly. Um, but somehow in the last couple of years, I've come into my own where I really don't, it doesn't matter to me what people think. I'm just being me, and I'm living life. I'm living my best life, and I'm trying to enjoy it despite all that's going on in the world. So here I am in Te Puru. Yeah, so I just wanted to talk a little bit more about my teachers. Actually, I forgot to. And the first would be my mother. So when I was very little, we couldn't afford wallpaper. So my mother used to paint the walls and get us to paint the walls. I'm one of 9 and 7 girls. And the older girls, I was too young. I always got out of it, but I was always watching and listening. They'd get up and they'd paint. Mum would choose the colour and up it went, and every year we had different colours, and she always chose soft pastel-y colours, pinks and apricots and yellows and you name it, we had it on our wall. But her actual dress was very striking. She liked bold patterns and strong colours, and you'll see that in my choice of colours, because I can see the purples and the greens in some of the work that I've done. So I missed out my mum, sorry mum. And the last one would be, and I'll name him, hidden in Melbourne. I was lucky enough to be around him twice, 2 workshops, and it was musical workshops. So we did koaua, making them. And in that, he'd give you the whakapapa of where sound comes from. But I wanted to share that that's one of the final things that I incorporate in my paintings. So when I'm in full swing, I'm usually dancing. And I dance with my paintbrushes. And what I'm doing is, what would you call it? Orchestrating my colours on the thing, and I know if I choose that colour, I've got to pull it somewhere else and balance it. And so I do this dance, deciding how to get it to all, I can't think of the word, synchronise, be harmonious as colours. But I learnt that off him, and not many people get that, but I do. I touched a tree. Yeah, so the main feature of my exhibition is a painting called I Touched a Tree. That's the name of the exhibition. And actually it stems way back to many years. I worked in a place called Kahunui, drug and alcohol rehab, and I was a program facilitator. And I used to use art as a form of reaching people, that were there, and I'd take them for these art, and I'd sit them there and say to them, now I want you to, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, and I'm going to put some music on, and I want you to look at that tree and then close your eyes, look at the tree, close your eyes, and then when you're comfortable, see how many colours you can see. And I did that exercise for them, and they couldn't believe how many colours I could see in the tree, because they just saw brown, and they just saw green leaves and brown and green, really. And then I introduced, do you realise the tree's alive, just like you and me? And that must generate a colour. And I said, and I can see those colours. And I said, if you touch a tree, you'll hook into it. It's alive. And that's, this exhibition is based on that belief that I have, that if you touch a tree, you can feel the tree. You know, you can know a little bit about the tree, more than just what your eyes tell you about the tree, you know, and what you've learned about the tree. So I touched a tree. That sort of gave me the idea I would be doing some sort of, I don't know, I suppose you'd call it interpretive work of the tree. And so I knew it wouldn't be like real like a tree, but I can do real like a tree. And that's the hard thing, is what people want you to be as an artist, or what they want you to create for their eyes, because that's how they see their world, like that, not like how you see it maybe. What else can I tell you about I touched a tree? So I took all that information, and right when I thought I was going to, well, back, I didn't have a canvas, and I really didn't know how I was going to fit all that information. The trees were so big, how I would squeeze it on a canvas. And I went to our local seagull, and my mouth dropped open, and I couldn't believe it. There was the biggest canvas that you'd ever seen that had home written on it and nothing else. I think the person had tried to paint something maybe and didn't know how, or couldn't get any further than trying to write a word, got frustrated and threw it out. And I'm looking and thinking, oh my gosh, I've got to have that canvas. And so it couldn't fit in the car. It was that big.
And is it that canvas?
That canvas. So I tied it to the roof of my car with a bit of string, shut in the door, and prayed for the best, and crawled home with this canvas, because it was really quite reasonably cheap. And I thought, well, if it flies off, so be it, you know, at least you tried. And lucky enough, I got it home, stripped it down, cleaned it up, and I began. So I knew I had a big enough canvas to fit some trees on it, and I thought I was ready. Then I got a calling to go home to Tauranga, where I'm from, and off I went to my marae. And I'd not met some of the whānau, because they're different lines of my grandfather's, not just our line. So I met some new cousins in Tauranga, and I said I was having an exhibition. And Maxine, my cousin, said, oh, we've got a tree. Perhaps you could paint our tree. And I was like, okay. And she said, oh, one whole line of our whakapapa from Tauranga went to Tairua. And so I thought, you've got to go and look at that tree, Fay. You can't ignore that. And she said, oh, they had a big gathering last year, because there's a memorial stone there, because they're pioneers of that town. They're in the historical cemetery right at the beginning, and basically there's a putakawa tree, and they're all buried under it. Quite a lot of people, apparently. But we know our line went there, the Bennetts, and she was a pōheka. And the tree's just on top of them. They don't have headstones. So I went to look at this tree, and I go, oh my gosh, that's the tree. And because I'd struggle, you have no idea. You get all this information and you want to begin, but the story's not set. So you can't. Or you try, and it's like, nah, hang on, do some more work. And
there's a lot of the work.
Oh, it's in your
like
head.
Intellect like that, yes, before you're able to express onto the canvas.
You just can't get on until you're pretty. I usually have to be resolved 80%, and then I can paint. And people are saying to me, oh, you know, like with my work, because there's 20 pieces over there associated to that main painting. They say to me, oh, what's the title? And I'm thinking, if only you knew what you're asking me. I'm not ready. It's going to be the last minute type things. I know what to create, but the finer points of being an artist for me can't happen till right at the end. I can't give you the titles, you know, because people are saying, advertise, do this. It's like, really?
Have you always called yourself an artist? You always described yourself as an artist?
No, it's only been really since I've come here to Te Puru. I'm in the vessel, trying to see how that works for me as a co-op member. And I've, since Wairau got flooded and everything was broken and nobody came to Wairau, that's how I got here. Because nobody was coming to Wairau to buy our art or to look at our art. We had a tiny wee gallery, and a lot of Aucklanders used to come down, but with the roads broken through the floods and things, they stopped. And a lot of the homes and things got broken because of the flood. So Wairau was broken, according to me, and my way of dealing with it was to leave, do some more work elsewhere and learn some stuff about being an artist. And that's what I'm doing basically. So I've been exhibiting quite a bit. A lot of hard work. Do I make loads of money? No. It's minus, you know, but the passion has come back to me, and for the first time I feel an artist, not a teacher of art, because I've taught a lot of people, not so much a healer with art, very much Fay the artist is coming out. And this will be my real first piece that I'm really proud of as Fay the artist. I was there 18 years ago and I was going to come out then as an artist, but I had a late baby, Arapira, and she's now 18. So now it's my turn. And that's kind of why I've left it so late. I thought I'd left it far too late, but I haven't. And I think you can, you know.
Do you think those reflections of kind of the life stages, like, you know, you were the mother and now you're not anymore, and that the wisdom of the later years and the time, that's yours now because you've done your mother?
Well, when I had her, she was wanted. I chose to have her. I knew I couldn't be an artist, and that's the truth. I already knew that because me, the artist, I don't stop. I work till 2 a.m. When I need to paint, I'm going to paint. And so I painted for the last 3 weeks nearly till 2 a.m. And you just go and go and go till you find what you're looking for in the canvas, on the canvas. I'll talk about my teachers. I've had the finest teachers to the way I paint. So I had a woman called Nan Tawhai, and I first learned painting with my finger, and that taught me movement. And I did that for about 2 years, just using my finger, chalks, pastels, whatever, but I couldn't use a brush. The next teacher that I got, she was a tonal impressionist, and she was an easel painter with long brushes. And I stayed with her for a number of years till she taught me everything that I could want to know about being an artist. And then I left her and put out to the cosmos and got a master tutor. And I stayed with him for 5 years till he couldn't teach me anymore. I just had to paint. And that was when I decided to have arapira. So I never really came out and put it to sleep, really. I do the little things, but never the real stories. So this is a real story about life and the way I look at it. And from here at Te Puru, because I'm sitting here looking at my beautiful spirit over there, and she's looking. And because I asked the question, and I am like that, I'd look out to the water and I'd go, wonder who else was here before me. Now, I've got whakapapa over in Rotorua, and we have Hinemo and Tūtanakai. And I said, I wonder who's over there. They must have built some pounamu relationships and blood tied, and I bet they came across on Waka. And so that posed questions, not just about the trees, but about the people and how they got here and how they moved, and just how they moved. And so I learned who the iwi were around where I lived, more solid, and enjoy what I know. I go to the marae here, Ngāti Maru, and I'm just really happy at the moment as an artist, because I feel really solid and really able to do some really gutsy bits of painting now. This is the first. Yeah, so
Can you take me on a tour? Can we go and see some paintings?
All right, well.
So tell me a little bit about this painting.
Well, this painting, I can't give you the title as I'm still, I'm still painting. But this is talking about the DNA of trees and the connectedness of trees. And if you have a look, I've used the yellow. Yellow is always Te Ao Marama. She's the first light. So she's always got to be in my painting somewhere. I have that. And they're still at this point connected because you can see the green. The red for me really is spirit. It's very, very spiritual. Yeah, this one is connected to the previous one that you saw, and again it's talking about the DNA of trees and how connected they are. In the background I'm talking about the centre of the universe, and of course Te Ao Marama is always there somewhere, the first light, and you'll see a bit of blue in there, water.
Each moment